used. We call this ranked customer values, and what we're going to get at the end is a list of what customers value in a service experience and the relative importance of those values, because not all of the values are going to be the same. And we know that these will be the values because we're going to hear it from customers. So if you take one thing away from this presentation, it's this. Don't imagine that you know what your customers value in a service experience. Go out and ask them, talk to them, have those conversations. And we're going to talk about how to do that. So step one in this project is we're going to identify our target customers. Now, this organization, like many, got about 80% of its revenue from 20% of its customers. And that's not unusual. The other 80% of the customers generated 20% of the revenue. And it's also true that not all customers have the same level of profitability. So to design these support services that customers value, we want to identify who's our target customers that are generating the most revenue and the most profit. This organization had customers, that paid 6 or even 7, sometimes 8 figures a year for the software. But there was this one customer, very noisy customer, who had gotten the cell phone number of our SVP of technology services. And anytime he had an issue, it was a direct call to the SVP, who would then cascade down the escalation, and the organization would go into firefighting mode. I looked up this customer in our CRM, and they paid us $14,000 a year. And we were treating them like a $10 million a year account. That's not a profitable way to run your business. So step one is identify who are those target customers that are the best fit for your business. And that's where we're going to focus. Once we've identified the target customers, the next step is within those target customers to interview extreme users. And we'll go through on a next slide what those interviews look like. But I want to talk about extreme users. Those are the users really on either end of the bell curve. Either they're heavy users of support or they're barely using support at all. We want to talk to those extreme users because they'll have outlier cases and insight that's going to apply to all the users. So we're going to conduct qualitative, in-depth interviews with those extreme users at those target customers. And through the interviews, we're going to identify customer values. We're going to identify what customers value when they interact with support services organizations. And I'll show you some examples of what we commonly find here in a few slides. All right, step 3, after we've got that qualitative data about what customers value from the 10 to 20 interviews that we've done, we now want to validate that across our entire customer base. And we're going to use a tool called discrete choice analysis, and I'll walk you through that. It's a survey tool to validate those values. And that's what's going to produce that stack ranking and the comparison between the different values as to which is most and second most important, etc. And then step 4 is the most important, because none of this matters if you don't act on the insights. If you don't actually go back into the organization and make changes to deliver more customer value, then it's just a nice academic exercise.